Imagine this, July 20th, 1969. The world watches in silence as Neil Armstrong steps onto the moon. His words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," echo through history.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Billions are glued to grainy, black and white screens, witnessing a dream come true. But here's the shocker. The original high-quality tapes of this moment vanished. Gone. Erased. Why would NASA let such treasures disappear? What secrets were buried with them? Get ready to uncover the mystery of NASA's lost tapes. The Apollo 11 mission. To understand the lost tapes, let's start with the mission itself. Apollo 11 was NASA's greatest achievement. Astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins blasted off from Kennedy Space Center on July 16, 1969. After 4 days in space, Armstrong and Aldrin landed the lunar module Eagle on the moon, while Collins stayed in orbit above. The entire world tuned in to watch. The footage they saw was magical, but blurry and faint. What most people didn't know was that behind the scenes, NASA had much sharper recordings. These weren't regular TV signals. They were special slow-scan television, SSTV signals, sent directly from the moon. Those original tapes could have given us the clearest view of humanity's first steps on another world. The shocking truth. Here's the part that sounds unbelievable. The original Apollo 11 tapes weren't locked in a vault. They weren't treated like treasures. Instead, in the 1970s and 1980s, NASA faced a shortage of magnetic tapes. These reels were expensive, heavy, and bulky. To save money, the agency recycled them. Yes, you read that right. The priceless Apollo 11 tapes were wiped clean and reused to record other missions, like satellite data. NASA estimates that more than 200,000 reels were recycled at Goddard Space Flight Center. Somewhere in that pile were the clearest images of Armstrong's first step. Imagine painting the Mona Lisa and then using the canvas to scribble shopping lists. That's how careless this loss feels. Did NASA really lose everything? Here's where things get interesting. While the original SSTV tapes were erased, the moon landing was still captured by TV networks around the world. Ground stations in Australia, like Honeysuckle Creek and Parkes Observatory, received the signals first and relayed them to Houston. Copies were made on standard TV formats, and that's what people saw. So technically, the landing wasn't lost. The footage still exists, but in much lower quality. The heartbreaking part is knowing that the originals, which could have shown crystal clear details of the moon's surface, are gone. The hunt for the lost tapes. In 2006, NASA finally decided to investigate. A team led by engineer Richard Navker spent 3 years searching warehouses, archives, and even old employees' homes. They combed through the Washington National Records Center and other storage facilities. The verdict, announced in 2009, was devastating. The tapes were gone for good, most likely erased during routine recycling. But NASA didn't stop there. They restored and enhanced existing footage using modern digital tools. In 2009, just in time for Apollo 11's 40th anniversary, NASA released sharper, cleaned-up videos. Today, anyone can watch Armstrong and Aldrin's steps in better quality than people saw in 1969. But it's not the same as having the originals. Conspiracies take over. Now comes the juicy part. When people hear that NASA lost or erased the most important footage in history, their minds race. What if the tape showed something we weren't meant to see? Conspiracy theories exploded. Some say the moon landing was faked in a Hollywood studio, possibly directed by filmmaker Stanley Kubrick. Others claim the tapes showed UFOs or alien structures on the moon. Destroying them, they argue, was the easiest way to hide the truth. Hooks like this grab attention. What if the tapes revealed a secret encounter on the lunar surface? What if NASA erased history not by accident, but on purpose? Debunking the myths. But here's the hook. What if everything you've heard about the moon landing being fake is just smoke and mirrors? Let's break it down. NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter snapped photos showing landers, tracks, and footprints still on the surface. Apollo astronauts carried home 382 kilograms of moon rocks, unlike anything on Earth. Reflectors placed on the moon still bounce lasers back today. Undeniable proof of human presence. And think about this. More than 400,000 people worked on Apollo. Could they all keep a secret? With 1960s technology, faking it was impossible. Theories that won't die. Still, the mystery of the lost tapes gives conspiracy believers plenty of fuel. Some insist the erased reels contained evidence of UFOs. Buzz Aldrin once mentioned seeing a strange light during Apollo 11, which sparked endless speculation. Others point to lost reels that turned up at auctions, like 3 videotapes bought in 1976 for $218 and later sold for millions. NASA confirmed these were recordings from Apollo, but not the missing originals. The theories keep people hooked because they tap into a universal fear that governments hide the truth. NASA's track record of losing treasures. Here's another shocker. Apollo 11 isn't the only case of NASA losing priceless history. In 2018, an audit revealed that poor record-keeping led to missing artifacts like a prototype moon buggy and spacesuits. Employees even took items home as souvenirs. In 2017, NASA destroyed 325 mysterious tapes found in an engineer's basement. They were too degraded to play, so officials erased them for safety. What was on them? No one knows. Even Apollo science data wasn't safe. The Apollo Lunar Surface Experiments package sent information back from the moon until 1977. Thousands of tapes with seismic readings and atmospheric data scattered after the program ended. Why does NASA keep losing things? The simple answer: time, money, and bureaucracy. After Apollo ended, the space race cooled. NASA focused on the shuttle program and unmanned missions. Old tapes gathered dust. Magnetic tapes degrade, machines to read them break, and storing them costs money. In the digital age, many agencies didn't realize how valuable analog media would become. By the time NASA understood, it was too late. It's a lesson in history. If we don't guard the past, we risk losing it. Could the tapes have held dangerous secrets? Let's play devil's advocate. What if NASA's lost tapes weren't just simple mistakes, but hidden truths? Some think the tapes showed radiation dangers that astronauts really faced. Others whisper about secret tech too advanced for its time. And then there are the moon oddities: shadows, shapes, reflections. No proof, but the mystery keeps the debate alive. The public's fascination with the lost tapes. Even decades later, the lost tapes continue to draw attention. In 2022, Ripley's Believe It or Not displayed Apollo lost tapes to fascinated crowds. Documentaries like Apollo, the lost tapes keep the mystery alive, blending declassified footage with dramatic storytelling. The truth may be simple: NASA made a mistake, but the mystery feels bigger than that. People crave secrets, and space is the perfect setting for them. In conclusion, the story of NASA's lost tapes is part tragedy, part cautionary tale, and part mystery. Did we miss out on clearer views of humanity's greatest moment? Absolutely. Could the tapes have shown something shocking, like alien life or government secrets? What we do know is this: the moon landing was real. The science backs it up. The evidence is still there on the lunar surface. If humanity can forget its own giant leap, what else might be quietly slipping away in dusty archives? The lost tapes remind us of something powerful. Space is full of mysteries. But sometimes the biggest mysteries come from right here on Earth. If you found this video helpful, tap the bell icon for more thought-provoking content. Share your thoughts in the comments, and thank you for watching.